Howdy folks, I hope you're doing well and staying safe. I've been, full disclosure, struggling to get this video out because it's just jam-packed. I'm trying to get her 10 minutes and I can't. I got down about as far as it goes. This thing is actually going to span all the way where Chad is, Chadlupa, one of the people I play with, from the C cap all the way over to the A cap, and spoiler alert, he does a great job. Makes some, I'm going to laugh now, some classic mistakes. Dodges a bunch of torpedoes from different submarines and ships, but apparently struggles with CVs, but that's over in the A cap much later. But right now, he doesn't realize he's just been spotted by the submarine that's off his bow right now. Now, there's someone in the cap. It is the Harugumo. It just is. That's about the closest you're going to get. Now, that Harugumo is going to try to go toe-to-toe with a Kaba. That is not always surprising. And if you just heard it, you heard the ping go by, Chad. You can now hear the ping as it comes by, and there's the first ping. There's our submarine friend who thought this was going to be an easy kill because he was backing up and launched 4 of his torpedoes. And no, use the damage control and away you go. Speed boost and go at them. So one thing Chad does here, you can see where the ping is coming from. It looks to me as if the submarine's either stationary, he's about to go to the right, or he's backing up. But he put his depth charge down too soon. They're not going to do any damage here. The submarine is much farther. You have to be on top of it before you start dropping it, so to speak. But he's keeping the same tradition. He's going to sit here and just keep going and hunting of it. Now, Chad has a lighthouse build. And there are 3 types of builds for the Kaba you can essentially do. The first one itself being where you go full-on smoke and concealment and whatnot, and you don't actually use the heels. That's a kind of a safety build, and our submarine friend is right behind him again. And I bet you any second now you're going to see some torpedoes. There they come. And again, the submarine, I can see what the submarine's thought process is, but he's not locked on to Chad here. I don't know what his thought process overall is, but he keeps overplaying. So even though Chad has overplayed a bit, so is a submarine. The one thing that can actually kill a submarine is not necessarily a submarine, it's a DD. So as much as I have showed you in the past, I love to harass submarines, you can't. And here comes our friend, the Harugumo. For whatever reason, I don't know why he did this. It's not what I would do. If I was going to take on Chad and Harugumo, I would come around the island and make sure someone like the Thunder that's just south of him can't see me, or the Montana. Chad's got help. And the submariner, depending on what navy you're in, is trying to kill Chad, but not doing a good job. And all the damage he's taking right now, he can actually repair with his heel. And the Harugumo should have smoked up much, much quicker than this and allowed the submarine to spot Chad and to kill him. But that's not the case. And ultimately, the Harugumo is going to pay for it with his life. The other build you can get is kind of a a concealment build, and go with non-concealment, but still go with heel. And there's our submarine Freddy's back, who made a tactical mistake here. He fired both sets on one side of the Harugumo's rack. He should have spread it out one on each side. And that might have actually worked. But now Chad's going to start going after him. So like I said earlier, the second option is you can actually have concealment, and you can kind of do a longer range, legendary module kind of build. And the other is just an outright legendary module, range, heel, lighthouse build. Chad loves that kind of build, which means he's got a detectability of something like, I think it's either 9.7 or 8.7, so he could be seen from the International Space Station. Now it's critical, folks, that you watch that he just got 7 depth charges hits on the submarine, and Chad's going to help taking him down. And you'll see that the 7 hits did only 25% of the ship's damage. That Yamato player has really stuck himself out here in the side, and I think it's a bad idea personally. Now, Chad told me when I was talking to him about this replay that he had a sneaky suspicion that the submarine was going to go into the cap here and head to the left. And point blank, he was correct. Now, the U-boat, U-2501, is staying underwater way too long. She should have bugged out of here, surfaced, and now here she is in proximity detection. And Chad is now spotting this, and everybody knows to light this submarine up, and they do in this team. And look at that, only 3/4 damage done by 7 torpedo hits, but he will now be officially a moot point. And he's dead. So the submarine is no longer a threat. But that Yamato keeps coming down the gap and isolating himself. And you've got a battle here where you have carriers. So I'm not sure what that Yamato player was thinking, but even more strange was the Thunderer on his own team, which I'll fast forward here and get to. Yeah, right about now. So Chad's just sitting here farming the Yamato, which I totally get. He's got a Kaba, he can't be seen. Boom, 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 boom. Start letting him up, put fires on it. But this Thunder player off to Chad's right, to our left of the screen here, just starts charging in on the Yamato. And I have no idea what he was thinking. It was just, yeah, anyway, you'll see in a bit here. So all Chad's doing now is just letting up and holding on to the cap. He's converted the cap, it's now theirs. And he's just sitting here, taking his time, farming the Yamato, which is the right thing to do in my opinion. You need to kill this isolated ship. Between him, the Stalingrad, and the Thunder, they need to kill this ship. Because it can, if you all take off and go after the fleet over in the A cap, the end result is simple. He's going to come here and take the cap. And there's nothing you can do. So again, you have someone to put you in a crossfire. And Yamato's guns at 18.1 inches are no joke. They can take a cruiser and completely destroy him. But again, there goes that Thunder. I am not sure what that individual player was thinking. It's not the tactic I would take. They both have 18-inch guns, essentially. But this Yamato player, I'll give him credit, not the Thunder. The Yamato player knows his game's over. So instead of going down with nothing on his plate, guess what he's going to do? Yeah, he's going to ram the Thunder. And at this point, we're about halfway through the game, roughly, just about there. And the CV at this point really starts concentrating on Chad, which I thought was a bad play. There's also one critical part in this game where I do not know what the enemy was thinking, because they start just bugging out, and the game is not theirs. And there goes Yamato player. He's gonna ram, and that's all she wrote. Thunder didn't quite contribute to the game, in my opinion, by doing that. Because the Thunder, if she was able to kill the Yamato, could have came up north and put the enemy team in a crossfire. So Chad's trying to come through this gap. This is kind of he had a sneaky suspicion that the planes started to come up. Here come rocket planes. So he starts slowing down. And for whatever reason, the carrier player doesn't know he's here. He just drops. And we've all seen this methodology. He kind of has Chad in a bit of a weakness here. So, from my point of view, I'm not splitting the game up for any point. This is going to go on until the game's over from this point of view. So you kind of look at it, you think, okay, so we got 7.5 minutes left in the game. They're technically losing the game, and the CV is coming around. Now, the Poison is going to shoot. I think he does. I can't remember. Sorry, maybe wrong here. But Chad was trying to decide, what does he want to do? Radar goes up from the Stalingrad, and you want to see what's out here. And there's the Shimakaze. Now, anyone who knows what's going on, Shima knows where he is. The Shima's put, at least if he has it, he's put one set of torpedoes out towards that gap. And there's the Sherman. And we're pretty certain that the Holland's just directly off his starboard side, right side of the boat. So he's being kind of cautious here, which, I mean, some people might go down south, go around. They own the cap. It's okay. You know, he's just trying to get himself paced. The Sherman can kill him. I mean, can out-DPM him. The Holland can out-DPM him. Together, they can do a lot of damage. So I'm like, just take your time. It's wargaming, the World of Warships, the Thinking Man game. And here, you saw him dodge torpedoes for a submarine, which I thought was funny. And here comes the end of his game. Like, if he hadn't run aground there and Notzered, we joked about it and talked about it. We call it a tactical Notzer, and he's like, no, it's not. He screwed up. And there's the Holland. I think the Holland here had been a big mistake. The Holland's not going to be able to kill him. But the Holland is going from left to right. She's moving up towards that gap just by where the shells are going. I don't think, if I was a Holland player and I didn't have line of sight of him, I wouldn't have fired. He's not going to do much damage to him. And here comes the plane. This guy starts harassing the heck out of him. And here's the proper technique. If you're going to get shot at by a plane, turn into it. Rockets, turn into them as quick as you can. As soon as he commits, you want to start turning into it. And not every rocket plane has the same amount of time between hitting the button, the left mouse button, and actually shooting its rockets. They can span anywhere from, some of them are 3 to 4 seconds, some can be 5, 6, 7 seconds. There's the Holland. She's taken off back towards the A cap. Here's a second pot. I'm sure some of you guys are thinking the same thing. She's going to launch torpedoes. There she is wiggling. So I figured, okay, he's taking some shots. And in my mind, I'm like, hey, Chad, do not go after this boat. She can outrun you, quite frankly, and she can also put torps at you. So just pay attention. So I thought, man, don't go to the right. Don't go to the right. You're going to get torpedoed. But he's pushing the enemy back, is what he should be doing. That was his lovely friend, the Poison, I believe, or the Shimakaze. I'm not 100% sure. But now you know the Shima's coming after him, too. Which I thought was, in my opinion, the Shima's play here was dead wrong. The Shima should have gone wide on the Montana, torped her, and head for the sea cap. If no one else dies, They're going to end up winning the game. There's the torpedoes from the Holland. And there's a Shima. And now she's running away, but shooting at him. And I know everyone knows Japanese torpedo boat guns are no joke. They can do a lot of damage, but I'm thinking, what are you doing? He's going to sit here and start trying to dodge Chad's fire. And I get that again, but I'm like, what are you doing? You know the Montana's off to your right. If the Montana aims at the Shimakaze, she's going to lose most of her health, if not all of it. I think the Shima played a really hard part, but the enemy team is running away. And you're looking at the points and they're going, they got the game. I'm like, well, no, they don't. This is what I didn't understand. Like, they've got 2 caps. And there's like 4 minutes left, so it's kind of really close. It can go either way. But if I was a Shima, especially the Montana now gone, I'd be turning hard right and heading for the C cap as quick as I am. Because then he would have ran into a free aircraft carrier. And now this is the 3rd time I'm sitting back going, Chad, you know the Holland just dumped torpedoes. Chad, slow down, buddy. I was getting a little nervous here because I knew they were coming, and they were perfectly timed. And as soon as he got in the cap and he was taking the cap, I knew the Holland had taken off. And like on cue, there goes the torpedoes. Now this is where it gets a little stressful and some mistakes were being made. You notice Chad's health. He's got the game in the bag. He just needs to take the cap and head south. That's all he has to do. I'd also be telling his aircraft carrier to get back. But here comes the Japanese aircraft carrier to start spamming him. And here's the first mistake he turned out. He should have turned in. Now he's going to put himself in position to be shot by the poison. He could have turned in, then turned back around. That was a bit of a mistake, and he took a lot of his damage. There's almost 6,000. Now the Preußen can shoot him. And that's even worse. The goal here is to get the cap. And now he's got enemy fighters over him. He has to get this cap. So the CV player did a pretty good job. And he gets nailed again. But he keeps resetting the cap. Like, if you're looking for AA, you're not going to get it off the boat. And in my opinion, with this lighthouse build, I would have already gone full speed ahead at this point, and he's making a decision to fire at the Preußen. These guys are now whittling him down. He's about to die. So just stop shooting. Because of that. There's another 3,200. So Chad's only goal here now is to get this cap, and I have no. I guess the Japanese carrier was getting low on rocket planes, but look at the Holland and the Shimakaze are both in the cap. I disagree with that statement. They needed to get the other cap. The aircraft carrier can't take on both, and you're very close to it. But watching the mini map, what they do, and of everything that Chad's been through, we both got a laugh out of this one. It's like all you have to do is dodge this one set of torpedoes. Go hard right now and hard left. You straighten out. And reset the cap. Dang damn it. So now you can't get out, and that gives the Preußen the ability to get a shot at you. So I was getting a little worried here. He was on the verge of getting killed. We got a lucky RNG right here. So yeah, he's got to get the cap, and look what happened. The Shimakaze has now left the cap. The Holland's left the cap, and they're going after the aircraft carrier. Big mistake. This guy's just not. They had an opportunity to win the game and just didn't play it well. But Chad, he's just bugging out. He's got the cap. That's all he needs to do. And it looks like the Holland's running ground. And the Preußen misses. So from my point of view, I think Chad did a great job. I think he personally being patient, being smart, helped to win this game, in my opinion. I think he played a major role in it. Not a whole lot of damage, but a whole lot of good DDing. So, hey, down below, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this video. Let me think, how Chad's play was. And as always, take care, stay safe, and we'll watch Chad sail off into the sunset and get himself an easy win. It was easy, right? Just kidding, Chad. We had a good conversation about it, people. So, all right, folks, take care. Bye for now.